Macmillan Audio presents The Hush by John Hart. Read for you by Jeremy Bobb.
Chapter 1. Johnny woke in the crook of a tree under a diamond-studded sky. The hammock around him was worn nylon, and the great oak 100 feet tall. Even at 60 feet, its trunk was thicker than Johnny, its branches bent but strong. Johnny knew every one of those branches by feel, the worn spots from his feet and hands, the way they leaned out from the trunk and split like fingers. He could climb the tree in total blackness, find his way past the hammock to smaller branches that bent beneath his weight. From there he could see the moon and the forest, the swamp that rolled off to the south. This was his place, 6,000 acres, and he knew every stream and hill, every dark pool and secret glade. He didn't always sleep in the tree. There was a cabin, but it felt heavy at times. He'd built it himself, so it wasn't the shape or size of it that pushed him like a wind to the ancient tree on its splintered hill. It wasn't the dreams or memories or any dark thing others might suspect. Johnny came for the views and for the way they connected him to the land he owned. The tree grew from a knob of stone and soil that rose from the swamp to join a span of similar hills that cut a line between the wetlands and the thin-soiled higher ground that notched into the far northern corner of Raven County. From the hammock's crook he could see beyond the swamp and across the river. Climb another 30 feet and he could see a glint of light that was the tallest building in town. That was 18 miles in a straight line, 37 if you had to drive. Roads this far north were twisted and crumbled, and that was fine with Johnny. He didn't care for people on his land, and had fired once on hunters too antagonistic to leave when asked politely. He didn't plan to hit them. They'd be dead if he had. But Black Bear had a special place in Johnny's heart, and 2 mothers had been killed with cubs still in the den. Because of that, he marked the borders and tracked hunters in particular with sleepless determination. Police, of course, didn't see it his way, and neither did the courts. After the shooting, there'd been a few months in jail and a firestorm of media. That was because reporters never forgot, and to most, he was still the same dark-eyed child they'd made famous 10 years earlier. But Johnny didn't care if people thought him dangerous or strange. It hurt to see the worry on his parents' faces, of course. They wanted him in the city and between 4 walls, but deep down they understood how life had lifted him from the dark pages of his youth and brought him to this special place. And it was special. He could taste it on the breeze, see it in a sky so heavy with stars it made his eyes water to look up and marvel at the relentless depth of it. Beneath all that pure white light was a purple forest that moved with a rhythm as familiar now as the beat of Johnny's heart. This place. His life. Leaving the hammock, he let his hands and feet find their way to the smallest branches that would still take his weight. The trunk was thin so high, the horizon a purple line darker than the rest. He studied the canopy, then moved up the tree until the trunk was small enough to cup with both hands, and then with only one. It was dangerous to climb so high, but Johnny had a reason. He was looking for fire. There'd been fires in the wood before, campfires and lightning strikes, a burn once from a hunter's dropped cigarette. Fires like this were different, because Johnny, the next day, couldn't find a trace of them, not a charred twig or a burnt blade. And he looked hard. The first time it happened.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?